Something broke in you recently. Maybe it was last Tuesday when that phone call came. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago when you found those text messages. Maybe it was 6 months ago when the doctor said those words that changed everything. But something inside you cracked wide open, and you have been bleeding internally ever since. What you don't know is that this breaking wasn't an accident. It wasn't cruel fate or bad luck or punishment for something you did wrong. This breaking was surgical, precise, necessary, because sometimes God has to shatter what we have built to save what we were meant to become. Right now, in this moment, heaven is watching you with the kind of intensity usually reserved for life and death situations, because that is exactly what this is. Not the death of your body, but the death of the version of yourself that was never supposed to survive this long anyway. You have been walking around in a skin that doesn't fit, living a life that feels like wearing someone else's clothes, saying yes to things that make your soul scream no, staying in places, relationships, jobs, situations that slowly poison you from the inside out. And you thought this was just how life works. You thought everyone feels this hollow, this disconnected, this desperate for something they cannot even name. But 8 minutes ago, something shifted in the spiritual realm. A council was called. A decision was made. A mercy was extended that should have been offered years ago. But you weren't ready then. You are now. The breaking you have been experiencing, that is your spirit finally strong enough to say no to the life that has been suffocating it. The tears you cannot explain. That is your soul crying out for the freedom it knows it deserves. The restlessness that keeps you awake at 3 in the morning. That is divine discontent, and it is about to birth something beautiful. I need you to understand something that no one has ever told you before. Your pain has been productive. Every single moment of agony you have endured has been crafting something inside you that couldn't be created any other way. Your scars aren't evidence of your weakness. They are proof of your capacity to survive what was meant to destroy you. You see, there are 2 types of people in this world: those who break and stay broken, and those who break and become unbreakable. You are about to discover which one you are. For years you have been trying to fix what is wrong with your life by changing external circumstances. New job, new relationship, new city, new diet, new routine. But nothing worked because the problem was never outside you. The problem was that you were trying to heal a spiritual wound with material solutions. Your soul has been screaming for years, but you have been giving it everything except what it actually needs. You have been feeding it distraction when it craves purpose. You have been offering it comfort when it hungers for challenge. You have been giving it security when it is desperate for adventure. You have been providing it with people who make you feel small when it is aching for connections that expand you. This is why nothing has worked. This is why you feel empty after every achievement, lonely in every crowd, and restless in every moment of supposed peace. You have been trying to satisfy your spirit with things that can only satisfy your flesh. But there is something you need to know about the timing of this message finding you today. This isn't coincidence. This isn't algorithm. This isn't random. 72 hours ago, your name was spoken in places you have never seen by beings you have never met. A case was made for your life, for your purpose, for your future, and the verdict just came back. You are not just loved. You are not just forgiven. You are not just accepted. You are chosen for something so specific, so necessary, so urgently needed right now that heaven couldn't wait any longer for you to figure it out on your own. The depression that has been suffocating you, that is not mental illness. That is spiritual starvation. Your soul has been dying of thirst while you have been trying to hydrate it with everything except living water. The anxiety that grips you in the middle of perfectly normal moments, that is not a disorder. That is your spirit recognizing that you are living out of alignment with who you were created to be. The rage that bubbles up when you see injustice, that is not anger management issues. That is righteous indignation. And it has been placed inside you because you are meant to do something about what you see. The overwhelming empathy that makes you cry at commercials and feel other people's pain as if it were your own. That is not being too sensitive. That is having a heart that operates on heaven's frequency. All these things you have been told are problems to be fixed, symptoms to be medicated, weaknesses to be overcome. They are actually your superpowers in disguise. They are the very qualities that make you dangerous to a system that profits from people staying asleep, staying small, staying satisfied with crumbs. But here is what the enemy of your soul didn't count on. He thought, if he hurt you enough, betrayed you enough, disappointed you enough, you would give up on yourself completely. He thought if he could convince you that you are broken beyond repair, defective, worthless, that you would never discover the nuclear power plant that lives inside your chest. He was wrong. Every betrayal made you more discerning. Every disappointment made you more self-reliant. Every heartbreak made you more compassionate. Every loss made you more grateful for what remains. Every lie revealed made you more committed to truth. Every moment of darkness made you more hungry for light. You didn't just survive what was meant to destroy you. You transformed because of it. And now you are about to discover what you have become. The restlessness you feel isn't dissatisfaction with your life. It is your spirit recognizing that it is time to molt, time to shed the skin that served you through your survival phase and step into the one designed for your purpose phase. This is why nothing fits anymore. This is why everything feels too small, too limiting, too safe. You are not having a midlife crisis. You are having a spiritual awakening. And it is about 8 years overdue. The people who don't understand what you are going through right now, they are not bad people. They are just operating from a different frequency. You cannot explain quantum physics to someone who is still learning basic math. You cannot describe colors to someone who has never had sight. And you cannot share spiritual revelation with someone who is still sleeping spiritually. This is why you feel so alone right now. Not because you are alone, but because you are transitioning between worlds. You are no longer comfortable in the shallow end, but you haven't fully learned to swim in the deep end yet. You are in that terrifying, exhilarating space between who you were and who you are becoming. But you are not meant to navigate this transition alone. Right now, as you listen to these words, help is being dispatched. Not in the form you expect, not in the timing you prefer, but in the way that will most effectively get you where you need to go. The next 37 days are critical, not because something terrible will happen if you don't act, but because something extraordinary will happen if you do. Windows of opportunity are opening that only appear once in a lifetime. Connections are being orchestrated that will change the trajectory of your entire bloodline. Resources are being released that have been held up in spiritual bureaucracy for longer than you can imagine. But you have to participate in your own rescue. You have to stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to be who you really are. You have to stop looking for external validation for internal knowing. You have to stop apologizing for taking up space in a world that needs exactly what you carry. The gift you have been hiding because you are afraid people will think you are weird, that gift is not for you. It is through you for the healing of others. The message you have been afraid to speak because you are worried about being judged, that message is not optional. It is an assignment. The dream you have been postponing because you don't feel qualified. Your qualifications don't come from your resume. They come from your readiness to serve. You keep waiting to feel ready, but ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision, and that decision can only be made by someone who has been broken enough to know they cannot do it alone, but healed enough to know they don't have to. The reason this message found you today is because your time of preparation is complete. You have been in spiritual boot camp for years, learning lessons you didn't know you were learning, developing muscles you didn't know you were developing, building endurance you didn't know you were building. Every rejection prepared you for acceptance that will overwhelm you. Every delay prepared you for acceleration that will disorient you. Every loss prepared you for gain that will humble you. Every night you cried yourself to sleep prepared you for mornings. You will wake up laughing for no reason at all. The hardest part is behind you. The part where you had to learn to survive in a world that doesn't understand you. The part where you had to maintain hope when evidence suggested hopelessness. The part where you had to keep believing in love after being shown betrayal. The part where you had to maintain faith in goodness after experiencing evil. You passed those tests, all of them. Some of them multiple times because you are an overachiever even in suffering. But the testing phase is over. The building phase is beginning. What you are about to build will not just change your life. It will change lives you haven't even met yet. It will solve problems you didn't know existed. It will heal wounds in others that mirror the ones that were healed in you. It will demonstrate to a watching world that transformation is not only possible, it is inevitable for those who refuse to stay broken. But there is something you need to understand about the magnitude of what you are carrying. The very reason you have been opposed so fiercely is because the enemy can see the future impact of your life. He can see the souls you will save, the systems you will shift, the culture you will influence, the legacy you will leave. This is why your path has been so difficult. This is why ordinary challenges became extraordinary battles. This is why simple situations became complicated dramas. This is why good people sometimes treated you badly, and bad people sometimes seem to have supernatural insight into how to wound you most effectively. You have been walking around with a target on your back because you carry something that threatens the kingdom of darkness. Your very existence is a reminder that people don't have to stay stuck. Stay small, stay silent, stay separated from their purpose. And now that you are finally ready to step into that purpose, the opposition is going to intensify before it subsides. Because the enemy's final strategy is always to overwhelm you right before your breakthrough, to make you think you have been walking in the wrong direction when you are actually steps away from your destination. Don't fall for it. The pressure you feel right now is not evidence that you are on the wrong path. It is evidence that you are on the right one. The resistance you are experiencing is not proof that you should turn back. It is proof that you are getting close to something significant. Water doesn't fight rocks that are already settled at the bottom of the stream. It only fights rocks that are moving toward the ocean. The fact that you feel friction right now means you are in motion toward your destiny, not away from it. I need you to make me a promise right now. Promise me that no matter how loud the voices get that tell you to go back to who you were, you will not listen. Promise me that no matter how attractive the old life looks when the new life gets challenging, you will not return. Promise me that no matter how many people don't understand your transformation, you will not apologize for it. Because the world needs who you are becoming more than it needs who you were. The future is depending on you growing into your fullness, not shrinking back into your familiar smallness. There are people waiting for the solutions you carry, the healing you possess, the hope you embody. You cannot save everyone, but you can save the ones you are assigned to save. You cannot heal everything, but you can heal what is yours to heal. You cannot change the whole world, but you can change your corner of it so dramatically that the ripple effects touch places you will never see. This is your moment. Not tomorrow when you feel more prepared. Not next month when circumstances align better. Not next year when you have more experience. Right now, while you still remember what it feels like to be broken, while you still carry the scars that prove you are a survivor, while you still have the fire in your belly that comes from having something to prove. The wound is where the light enters you, but it is also where the light exits you to illuminate others. Your pain was never meant to be wasted. Your struggle was never meant to be in vain. Your story was never meant to end with just your personal healing. You are being healed to heal others. You are being freed to free others. You are being raised up to raise others up. Your resurrection is not just about you. It is about everyone whose life you will touch with the proof that dead things can live again. So what happens next? What happens after you finish listening to this message, and you are left alone with everything I have just told you? What happens when the inspiration fades and you are back to facing the same problems, the same people, the same limitations you woke up with this morning? Everything changes, and nothing changes. Everything changes because you now know things you didn't know before. You now see connections you couldn't see before. You now understand purposes behind pains that made no sense before. Nothing changes because the external world doesn't shift, just because you have had internal revelation. The real work begins when the video ends. The real test is whether you will carry this knowing into your ordinary moments and let it transform how you show up in your everyday life. Will you speak differently to yourself? Will you make different choices? Will you set different boundaries? Will you pursue different opportunities? Because information without transformation is just entertainment. Inspiration without implementation is just emotion. Revelation without revolution is just a temporary high that leaves you more frustrated than before, because now you know better, but you are still not doing better. But I believe you are different. I believe you are ready. I believe the pain you have endured has prepared you for the purpose you are about to embrace. I believe the breaking you have experienced has created the exact cracks needed for your light to shine through. And I believe that 1 year from today, you will look back on this moment as the turning point. The moment when everything that seemed random started making sense. The moment when everything that seemed lost started being found. The moment when everything that seemed broken started being redeemed. Your story is not over. In fact, the best chapters haven't even been written yet, and you are the only one who holds the pen. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, if you felt recognition in these words, if you sense that this was meant specifically for you, then I need you to take action right now. Like this video to signal to the universe that you are ready to receive what has been prepared for you. Comment with the word ready to activate the next phase of your journey. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it because your breakthrough is connected to helping others break through. And if you feel moved to support this work, if these words have brought value to your life, consider sending a super thanks. Your support allows these messages to reach more people who are walking through their own dark valleys, searching for the light that you just found. Remember, you are not broken, you are breaking open. And what emerges from this breaking will be more beautiful, more powerful, and more purposeful than anything you have ever imagined possible. Your greatest days are not behind you. They are ahead of you, and they begin the moment you choose to believe it.